Alright, hey everyone, well, I've been working on my video, and,
Oh, just let it in now. Just let it in.
yeah, anyway. As I was working, I got a frantic phone call from a customer who had rented out this bass rig for a little bit. In a panic, he said he broke everything was just destroyed, everything's gone, everything's dead. Oh, we're gonna see just how bad it is. So, test one, magic smoke test. See if we get fire. Alright. So we got our first indication that something's nasty is going on. We got that nasty little pop when this thing kicked on. That's not typical for this amplifier. A little bit of 60 cycle hum is pretty normal, but you know, we'll see. So next up is our old friend function generator. I'm just gonna use some pink noise. See how she handles a little bit of input. Next, we're gonna try frequency. So we're gonna do from about 40 hertz to about we'll do 2K. So it'll give us an idea of what's going on right in the range of a bass guitar. And a little beyond. 1K is about where your fingers sit. Alright, something's clearly hooped. Alright, so basic troubleshooting technique, right? Divide and conquer, easiest thing first. So big three components we have: your power, your delivery, and your output. Easiest thing to check is this cable. So let's do that. Alright, so with cables, all you gotta look for is the charred burning bits. Your best bet is to look at the connections on here, these solder joints and the actual wires themselves. Especially on a speaker wire, you can generally tell if they've been abused, because this is where you're going to get a lot of your impedance. And these actually look pretty clean. I don't see anything wrong with these, and I'd be comfortable using these again in another show. Alright, next up on our hierarchy of things that are hard to test, your actual speakers. All these are 2 cones and a big wooden box. The wood box would be on fire. The cones, on the other hand, those can actually misbehave and still look fine from the outside. So what we're going to do, since we already know what frequencies this thing goes bad at, just going to run a current right through here. And seems we found a problem. Oh wait, there's more. Okay. Well, we got it in. I'll spare you the gory details on how they get this off, but 2 things I want to say. One, there's sealant back here. I guess there's a third thing, don't touch the paper. But the stuff is sealed. So if you really want to be gentle getting it off, you can undo these screws and just kind of leave it overnight. And 2, remember what order these go in. It's going to be a big part of getting it straight and finishing up clean and not having to dig around in here more than once. Alright, now that we've got this thing out, we can do a quick search, see if we can figure out what's wrong with it. Take a light, give it some backlighting, look for any daylight that might come through. Don't have to worry too much about this outer portion. It's cloth. It should be air sealed, but Unless you see a distinct tear, you're fine. And I'm not seeing anything wrong with this. At least not yet. Alright, so what we got here is called the spider. Basically, it's a cloth spring. It holds the voice coil and everything else in place in its neutral position. So you want to make sure there's no tears there. That way it's returning back to its home position nice and easy. All looks good here. Possibilities now. Either the voice coil in this guy's shot, or somewhere in here is some bad wiring. We have a way to test that. We can obviously use our best friend, the DMM. I just know from testing the other speaker that we have an impedance on this thing should be around now 10 to 12 ohms. And what we get on here is about 1.5, maybe 2. Well, that's telling us something.
And here's something else to tell us. It's Ampeg's co-packer. Now we know who to contact if we want to get this exact same cabinet built.
Now, unsurprisingly, these numbers mean something. What they mean is I have a part number to look up on the internet. Well, the internet is a bust. This is clearly a proprietary part made by Ampeg. It's not going to be available for resale, or you're not going to find this anywhere. It's exclusively available to the guys who make this cabinet. And this cabinet is not available on its own. Your next task assembly is the entire amplifier. So this thing, gone. I now feel like we can do some destructive testing. See what really went wrong. Time for the autopsy. Alright, here we are on the autopsy table. Well, let's get started. So, the thing with these speakers is there's really nothing fastened. There's no fasteners, there's no tabs, there's nothing like that. It's all just glue. You can see, oh, my bad. You can see the bead on there they got. Yep. Well, one broke before, it is now. This is a dust cap. All it's there to do is keep particles and just crap out of the important stuff down the throat of the speaker. Normally they're just big enough to cover this guy up, but instead they decided to make it look huge. And reason being is those that know, or those who aren't, will look at this and go, man, that's a big, heavy-duty voice coil just sitting on here. Yeah? Which is true, would be. You'd fool a lot of people just looking at that side. But if you're smart enough to look at it from an angle, you see it shrinks up just fine. Well, since everything's broken anyway, I'll just go right ahead. So the cone is now completely free. Now we're just going to flip around real quick, and off camera I'm gonna cut the spider. So we got the dust cap off, we got the cones separated, we got the spider off. Time for the grand unveiling. And there she is. Oh, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Take a look at this. See that hard black line there? that's charred copper. And man, she is torched. Alright, so what's going on? The speaker is basically a motor. So in here you have a big magnet with some field windings inside. And when you get some signal, move some time with it. It's called a one-dimensional linear motor. Components like this, they have resistance due to just wires, but they actually have something else called reactance, which is similar concept. It's pushing back current in a unique way, and we'll get over that, when we start talking a little bit more about power factor and whatever. What you need to know is it still reduces the amount of current going. So how does it determine how much current is going? Well, that's the inductance. So at a given frequency, it has so much reactance, and that reactance is measured in ohms, and it therefore creates a resistance to current, not necessarily voltage drop, but it impedes the current going through here, which then gets vented off as heat, and the heat becomes, well, in this case, fire. So what happened? Well, like I said, the guy that was using this was basically in use, but he asked me for special permission. He said, is it okay if I use this bass amp, this combo and these speakers on my guitar? And I said, yeah, sure, whatever. It seems fine. What I forgot to mention was not to dime it. This speaker is rated just about at the kind of wattage and amperage that our amplifier can deliver, assuming it's in bass frequency, apparently. And this is kind of an oversight on Ampeg's part, because people love using bass amplifiers for the guitar rig. If you don't believe me, Buddy Guy, if you've ever listened to him, he's on a Fender Bassman. While not a particularly home run bass amplifier, is actually hugely sought after as a guitar amplifier. It just has a very unique quality of tone that people love. But in the case of these guys, they designed it just for bass. And what's going on is at higher frequencies, this reactance will increase. And it'll further restrict current flow, and that'll build up more heat. So if the frequency's too high and too much power for too long, you get this burnt up stuff. And the reason it stopped where it did is because he stopped playing. But yeah, that voice coil is dead. Mystery solved.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed a little bit of over-the-shoulder troubleshooting with me. I know this is a big part of the kind of work that I do, and speaking to other engineers in the field, this is really where you separate the professionals from the new guys. Anyway, there's a couple things I want to go over. If you were hoping for an electrical breakdown of this amp, I know we didn't actually touch it here, but don't worry. There will be one in the future. I got a couple lined up right now. 2. That cabinet is not going to waste. Just because the component's dead doesn't mean the whole thing has to be in the trash. I'll be taking the existing enclosure and installing some new speakers from my specs. That'll give me a brand new guitar bass hybrid cab to work with. I don't really know how long the other woofer has left in it. Could be a week, could be another show. It's too risky to keep using live. But not to worry. It's about to find new life as a